Do you think that this game is enough for them to potentially keep Justin Fields as they have officially solidified the number one overall pick?
No, because when you have the number one overall pick, I really don't want to spend it on another player besides a quarterback. And with the Chicago Bears, when you have someone like Caleb Williams who's hyped up to be the next Patrick Mahomes, you have Jordan Love. His year this year was better than any other Bears quarterback of all time so
Mhm.
far. And like even Jordan Love is outplaying all-time great Bears quarterbacks, even though, wait, that's not a thing. So when you can go out there and get a prospect to the caliber of Patrick Mahomes, and you have another pick to go out there and potentially get maybe not Marvin Harrison because the Cardinals will probably draft him or the Patriots. But you could go out there and get another really good wide receiver, and it's supposed to be a deep draft for that. Then you're in business and you have Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, and whatever other rookie wide receiver you have this year. You can go out there in free agency and focus on the offensive line and focus on that in the second and third round. And then also, your drafts on defense haven't been terrible. And then Tremaine Edmonds was getting used to the Bears defense, and he wasn't as good earlier this season. He's starting to come on now. Ever since Montez Sweat got there, the Chicago Bears defense has been legitimately good, and I'll give Matt Eberflus credit for this team because say Tyson Badgett never plays and Justin Fields stays healthy the whole year, they just got eliminated from the playoffs this week. I feel like the Bears had a legitimate shot at making the playoffs, but they're just so bad to start the season. But Matt Eberflus with the Montez Sweat trade has made that defense really good, which is his calling card. So give him credit there. And then Cole Kmet, he's your cornerstone there. He's the face of your franchise. He's the one where if you want to go anywhere at all, you have to make sure Cole Kmet is happy, especially for the Chicago Bears. So I think you do go out there and draft Caleb Williams. And I think the reason you do that is because Justin Fields has looked good. So now you can get some trade value for him and
Mhm.
you can get an extra second or a couple thirds, and then you can rebuild that offensive line. So I think trading Justin Fields, like, I'm still not confident enough to pay him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree because I think if you have to ask whether or not he's the guy, that's
He's
your
not.
answer.
Yeah.
That's your answer. We always compare it to the girlfriend thing. It's like, is she the one? If you have to ask, then it's probably not because when it came time to pay Joe Burrow, they weren't asking. When it came time to pay Josh Allen, same idea. Maybe they can even pull off what they did against the Panthers last year, get another wide receiver there potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a sign and trade. Who knows? I think that they have a good opportunity where they can do a full true rebuild. They're keeping Matt Eberflus.
Is
They
that
can.
official?
That's what the sources say. So I think they're going to keep him.
Okay.
So which I'm honestly fine with how they've played the last 9 weeks or so. So you can trade Justin Fields, get like a second round pick for how good he's playing. You can go out, get your guy, get a wide receiver, get a running back, and bolster up the offensive line, which that's what they did this past draft as well, and it worked. They landed their guy. So I mean, you guys are in a really good spot with, the Lions will be good. The Packers are in rebuild, and the Vikings look like they're crumbling right now. So it's like you're in a situation where you can still fight for the wild card.
Yeah.
And so I think next year, get your guy, get an offensive lineman, get a running back. You're in business. And plus, you have a shit ton of cap space.
Yeah, also, you'll have a lot more cap space if you're drafting Caleb Williams. If Caleb Williams doesn't want to go there, I think you should go out there and take Jaden Daniels. And I think that's a better option than Justin Fields because having a guy, even if he's slightly worse or slightly better than Justin Fields, is more valuable when you don't have to pay him for 4 years when Justin Fields is going to be asking for some money. And at this point, I think he's a lot better than Daniel Jones, but it's a similar situation to that where Justin Fields has looked really bad sometimes, but there's also sometimes he looks really good. So it's
Mhm.
like you have to have that conversation. And I think when he's like good enough, he just elevated his trade value this year where a team actually may want him. Like, say, Matthew Stafford's like, all right, I'm done. Sean McVay, hello, on the phone with the Rams. You don't think he'd want Justin Fields, especially because
Mm.
they're not going to have a top draft pick this year?
Yeah. No, I think it's a great fit. I think it's an opportunity where Justin Fields, I think, in a different situation, performs better, especially if he had an offensive minded head coach. I think he's a guy who really needs that.
Yeah.
And then for the like you mentioned, the just the money and how that breaks down, it's like even with that first overall pick, they're gonna make like 9, 10 million with
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, any of those guys.
Yeah.
10 million instead of 35 million. That's the difference between signing a top wide receiver like maybe a T. Higgins that might be interested
Yeah.
or signing Justin Fields. And I don't think whoever you draft, I think they're going to be relatively close to Justin Fields to
Yeah.
start right away, and you don't have to pay him for another 4
Yeah.
years.
Also, here's a trade idea. Your vision's good, right? We have vision insurance at our employer. Crystal Clear 2020 eye test. Who looks like they'll have a better career long term if they're in the same exact situation? Justin Fields or Tua Tagovailoa?
Justin Fields. The eye test.
Eye test.
The eye test. That's all
Yeah.
you need to see. Justin Fields with Mike McDaniels, who likes to run, who has Devon A. Train there, who has all those weapons there. You get him on the Dolphins. That Dolphins team, I trust a lot more.
Yeah, so it's like you would have a team like the Dolphins interested. You'll have a team like the Falcons interested. You'll have a team like the Washington Commanders interested. You'll have a team like the LA Rams interested if Matthew Stafford doesn't return. Potentially the Pittsburgh Steelers could be interested because Kenny Pickett, frankly, is not that good and has never looked like wow, like Justin Fields has. So I think if you get him in that situation, he's someone that could potentially help rebuild that. The Giants, he's definitely better than Daniel Jones. So I think the Bears, like the reason why you move on is because you have Caleb Williams, you have Jaden Daniels, you don't have to pay him for another 4 years. Justin Fields, he's going to want his money soon. And he elevated his stock right now at the end of this year. And there should be 3 or 4 teams that want him.